Plagiarism scandals in K-pop are not exactly a new phenomenon. However, since 2024, it feels like no artist can release a new song without being accused of copying someone else. Whether it's a melody, a dance move, or even just a vibe, netizens are quick to call out similarities, sometimes without even waiting for proper evidence. The real question is whether these accusations actually hold any weight or if they're just here to ruin the industry. One of the clearest signs that plagiarism accusations are spiraling out of control in K-pop is the increasing number of claims coming from artists overseas. An example that stirred up major controversy involved Lisa from Blackpink. She found herself caught in the middle of plagiarism accusations when Gabriel Moses, the director of Travis Scott's music video for Fiend, accused her of blatantly copying a scene from the video in her solo track Rockstar. The accusations first surfaced when Moses shared a screenshot of an anonymous tip on his Instagram on July 4th, pointing out the similarities between the two videos. It didn't stop there, because just 2 days later, Moses took to X to add more context. He claimed that Lisa's team had actually reached out to his editor to work on the video using Fiend as a reference. However, when the editor declined, the team allegedly went ahead with the concept anyway. This wasn't the last time Lisa found herself in hot water. Shortly after making history as the first K-pop artist to perform at the 97th Academy Awards, she faced backlash once again. This time, fans accused her of copying a song from the rookie girl group XG. Netizens quickly pointed out the similarities between Lisa's latest single F Up the World and XG's track Woke Up. Fans of XG expressed their disappointment, claiming that Lisa's song and music video had copied not just the melody, but also the style and concept of the original track. To make matters worse, some fans even noted that Lisa's outfit in the music video looked eerily similar to one worn by XG's member Jurin. The accusations didn't stop there. Social media erupted with comments from people criticizing Lisa for allegedly copying both the song's visual effects and overall vibe. Some harsh comments even went as far as questioning Lisa's originality altogether, with heated debate starting between fans online. Lisa's not the only one facing this much scrutiny, because NewJeans also knows the feeling all too well. Last year, the English jazz funk band Chaka Tak took legal action against the girls, claiming that their hit song Bubblegum unlawfully incorporated elements from the band's classic track Easier Said Than Done. The controversy erupted when Wise Music Group, the copyright holder of Chaka Tak's song, sent a formal notice to ADOR NewJeans label and its parent company HYBE. They argued that Bubblegum violated copyright laws and demanded that the song be pulled from streaming platforms along with compensation for damages. According to Wise Music Group, the songwriters behind Bubblegum had allegedly used parts of Easier Said Than Done without proper consent. In response, ADOR issued a statement denying the allegations, emphasizing that Bubblegum did not unlawfully use Chaka Tak's composition. The company revealed that they had requested an authoritative analysis to prove the song's originality and were waiting for the accusers to provide the necessary proof. ADOR insisted that the burden of proof lies with Chaka Tak, but the British band has not supplied any concrete evidence to back up their claims. Similarly, Le Sserafim's Smart received tons of backlash after netizens noticed plagiarism accusations surfaced when the group released a Smart performance alongside their title track Easy. While many fans praised the song's catchy beat and danceable vibe, others couldn't help but point out that it felt way too similar to Water. Social media quickly became divided as some netizens called out HYBE for allegedly copying Afrobeat sounds from Western and South African artists without giving credit where it's due. This isn't the first time the label has faced similar criticism, as some listeners claim that HYBE's artists are notorious for stealing global hits without proper acknowledgement. However, not everyone agreed with the accusations. Many argued that while Smart does have Afrobeat influences, that doesn't automatically mean it's a direct copy of Tyla's song. Some pointed out that Afrobeat itself is a genre with a diverse range of sounds and artists, and just because two songs share a similar beat or rhythm, it doesn't necessarily mean it's plagiarism. Even for Le Sserafim, this wasn't the last controversy they faced in this department. Just when things were settling around the accusations involving Smart, the group found themselves in hot water again, but this time for their new comeback teaser titled Hot Fire. The teaser was released as part of the promo for their album Hot, which dropped on March 13th of this year. As usual, the group shared concept videos and teaser images to build hype, but one video in particular started making headlines for all the wrong reasons. It all started when some sharp-eyed netizens noticed that parts of the Hot Fire teaser looked eerily similar to a promotional video released by the high-end fashion label Mugler. The Mugler video features model Anok Yai in a dramatic eye-catching shoot advertising one of the brand's fragrances. A netizen even posted a side-by-side comparison showing how similar the scenes were, and soon enough, accusations of plagiarism began trending. Social media quickly lit up with debates, and the video comparison went viral. Fans of Le Sserafim didn't stay silent, though. Many rushed to the group's defense, arguing that the viral clip had been pieced together to make it look like a frame-by-frame copy when, in reality, the sequences were split up up differently. They argued that people were purposely editing the teaser to create a false narrative. However, some netizens still weren't buying it. They pointed out that even if the clips were edited differently, the similarities between the visuals, styling, and camera work were just too close to be a coincidence. Some even accused the editors of being sneaky by intentionally cutting and rearranging the scenes to avoid direct plagiarism claims. It's not just the artists themselves worrying about these accusations. Music experts are also giving their 2 cents on why overseas plagiarism accusations have suddenly skyrocketed. According to music critic Min Heejin, it all comes down to the global popularity of K-pop and the sheer size of its market. As K-pop continues to dominate charts worldwide and build an even bigger international fan base, it's no surprise that foreign artists are starting to take notice. Heejin suggests that some overseas musicians might be raising plagiarism claims not just out of genuine concern, but also as a strategic move to gain financial compensation. Heejin also explained that it's not just about copying one specific song, sometimes it's the whole trend that gets people talking. Take NewJeans' Bubblegum for example. While it's being accused of sounding too much like Shaka Attack's Easier Said Than Done, some people also think it gives off vibes similar to Daft Punk's Lose Yourself to Dance. That's because Bubblegum follows the recent trend of super catchy, repetitive hooks with simple melodies, something that's pretty much everywhere in pop music right now. Heejin pointed out that if we start calling out every song with a familiar beat or catchy hook, we might end up accusing half the songs on the charts of plagiarism. Increasing plagiarism allegations don't only come from overseas, because even within the domestic K-pop scene, the accusations have been too much to handle. This trend has especially blown up after the plagiarism controversy between ILLIT and NewJeans, both of which are managed by HYBE subsidiary labels. The whole mess started when ILLIT debuted and almost immediately got slammed with accusations of copying NewJeans. Fans noticed that ILLIT's overall concept seemed way too similar to NewJeans' signature dreamy Y2K-inspired aesthetic. From the pastel-toned visuals and school uniform fashion to the catchy, fast-paced digital music, the parallels were hard to ignore. To top it off, their dance moves and music video styling looked like they came straight out of NewJeans' marketing strategy. One of the most talked about similarities was between ILLIT's magnetic music video and NewJeans' Ditto, with fans pointing out that some of the choreography looked almost identical. According to Min Heejin, the former head of ADOR, this wasn't just a coincidence or tribute to the group. She publicly accused HYBE of intentionally copying NewJeans' achievements through ILLIT's concept, choreography, and even their branding. In her eyes, this was more than just an artistic overlap. She felt like it was a direct attempt by HYBE to cash in on NewJeans' popularity by creating a carbon copy within the same company. Min Heejin didn't hold back when criticizing HYBE's approach, calling it destructive and saying that this kind of copy-pasting within a single label undermines creativity and diversity in K-pop. Industry experts chimed in on the situation as well. Some agree with Min Heejin, arguing that ILLIT's debut felt less like a fresh concept and more like an attempt to replicate a successful formula. They pointed out that when one company puts out two groups that look and sound almost the same, it doesn't just create confusion, it actively damages the uniqueness of both groups. Others, however, think it's not quite that simple. Some critics have pointed out that it's tough to claim plagiarism based solely on similar concepts, especially since the Y2K and school uniform aesthetics are super popular in K-pop right now. Music experts also believe that this incident highlights a bigger issue in the industry. They argue that concepts and choreography don't fall under clear intellectual property protection like recorded music does. This makes it hard to say where the line is between inspiration and copying. On top of that, they point out that the rise of internal competition within the same label, like HYBE in this case, could lead to a lack of creative diversity. After all the accusations of concept copying, a court hearing was held to determine whether ILLIT had plagiarized NewJeans' aesthetic. In the end, the court ruled that it wasn't plagiarism, stating that it's hard to say that ILLIT's concept directly copied NewJeans. The ruling also pointed out that the concept itself is too vague to fall under intellectual property protection. HYBE had a rough 2024 because shortly after the NewJeans drama erupted, rookie group 2US found themselves in a tough situation. The group faced plagiarism accusations after releasing their track Double Take, which many listeners claimed was strikingly similar to GD and Top's iconic hit Knockout. It didn't take long for social media to blow up with comparisons of the two songs, pointing out similarities in the beat, melody, and overall composition. Online forums were flooded with clips and discussions, as some fans couldn't help but notice the resemblance. While some netizens were quick to call out HYBE for being shameless and accused 2US of blatantly imitating Knockout, others were on the fence, saying they didn't hear the similarities. Although some of these plagiarism cases are very serious and have even led to lawsuits, nowadays it feels like every concept, outfit, and even hairstyle can suddenly be labeled as plagiarism. For instance, Chaewon was once accused of copying Winter from aespa just because she had a bob haircut. The accusers seem to forget the fact that Chaewon has been rocking that hairstyle since before or aespa's debut. It's gotten to the point where fans are calling out plagiarism over something as simple as similar outfits, as if fashion trends don't naturally overlap. And let's not forget how sampling has become a whole new topic of discussion. Some fans don't seem to understand that sampling is a legitimate part of music production. For example, when IVE performed at the Mama Awards, people accused them of copying Woodkid's Run Boy Run just because they used a sample. The same thing happened when Blackpink released Pink Venom. People claimed it was plagiarism because the song referenced lyrics from older hits by Rihanna, B.I.G., and Taylor Swift. It's like some fans don't realize that referencing and sampling are completely different from outright copying. In the past, it got so out of hand that Bangchan from Stray Kids even went live to explain how sampling works so that fans wouldn't keep making the same false accusations. The rise in plagiarism accusations isn't just limited to HYBE and its artists. Even SM Entertainment has found itself in the middle of this growing problem. Some fans argue that SM stans are particularly notorious for calling out other groups whenever they see something even remotely similar to what their favorite artists have done. Fans have pointed out that netizens like to call anything plagiarism, even if the creative director of two different concept photos is the same person. Although this issue extends to other companies and their fans as well, there seems to be a general agreement that Min Heejin played a major role in normalizing this trend. Ever since she accused ILLIT of plagiarizing NewJeans, the concept of if it looks similar, it must be plagiarism has really taken off. And honestly, it's not the first time Min Heejin has sparked something like this. Back when BTS wore school uniforms during a performance, rumors were going around that Min Heejin accused them of copying EXO's concept, which she allegedly claimed to have originally created. The situation, if true, was already ridiculous to most people because wearing school uniforms while singing about school doesn't exactly scream originality. If anything, people pointed out that EXO themselves could be seen as copying Britney Spears' iconic school uniform look from Hit Me Baby One More Time. It just didn't make sense to call out BTS for something as generic as that. Ultimately, plagiarism accusations are a serious matter, and when real evidence supports them, they deserve to be addressed. These accusations have caused countless fan wars, often not because netizens genuinely believe plagiarism has occurred, but because they see it as an easy way to sabotage a comeback and ruin the hype for rival groups. In reality, many of these fan-driven scandals seem more about stirring drama than holding anyone accountable for actual wrongdoings. This trend of throwing around accusations without proof has not only pitted fandoms against each other, but has also led to bigger issues within the industry itself. As it becomes harder to differentiate personal styles in music, fan communities have started placing less value on vocal abilities and more on brand loyalty. Instead of focusing on improving their artists' skills, many entertainment companies capitalize on these fan communities, especially through paid platforms like Weverse and Bubble. On top of that, the growing number of plagiarism claims has raised questions about the ethical standards of the K-pop industry as a whole. Fans are losing trust in artists and have started questioning whether companies are just chasing a bag instead of actually being creative. The bottom line is that while the focus should be on setting clear standards for originality, fans also need to stop calling out every similar vibe or concept as outright theft. Not every song with a catchy hook or a familiar style is plagiarism, and throwing around accusations without solid proof only hurts the artists and the industry as a whole.